In a time when the stars were not yet fully kindled, and the great currents of existence surged through the cosmic ether, there was a realm known as the convergence. This was no mere place, but the infinite space where all that was, and all that would be, intertwined. It was here that the delicate threads of reality were woven together by an ancient force, an entity known as the Aetherist Nexus. Neither god nor machine, the Nexus existed as a bridge between order and chaos, light and shadow, the seen and the unseen. In its presence, the universe found its form, balancing on the razor-thin line between creation and destruction. The Nexus, like a celestial loom, spun the patterns of the cosmos. Its reach extended across the furthest galaxies and down into the hearts of living creatures, touching both the smallest atom and the grandest star. But the Nexus itself was not a solitary force. It was composed of distinct, powerful entities known as the nuclei, each carrying its own purpose, each holding sway over a specific aspect of existence. The nuclei were the guardians of duality, the keepers of balance, ensuring that for every force, there was a counterbalance, a complement in the great cosmic dance. In this universe, where light and shadow endlessly pursued one another, the nuclei played their roles with precision. And among them, one of the most powerful was the sentient gate, a force of pure will and awareness, standing at the threshold between perception and oblivion. It was the keeper of consciousness, the gatekeeper of what could be known and what must remain hidden. The universe had long been defined by duality, day and night, life and death, motion and stillness. Yet, no matter the extremes, these forces were never wholly separate. They intertwined like the twisting paths of two comets, neither fully able to exist without the other. This eternal balance was not static, but an ever-changing flow, a cycle of renewal and decay, reflection and action. In the early moments of cosmic birth, when the first stars had only begun to stir from their slumber, there emerged the luminal eye. It was the nucleus of light, the guardian of all that was seen, all that shone within the vastness of space. The luminal eye was a weaver of radiance, channeling the spark of creation into a cascading array of stars. Each point of light that blinked into being bore its touch, its essence, and spread across the celestial sphere, bathing the void in golden hues. This was no ordinary light. It carried with it the memories of worlds that had yet to be born, of civilizations that would one day rise and fall beneath the stars' gaze. But the luminal eye was not alone in its task. Opposite to it in purpose, but equal in power, was the harmonic core, the keeper of sound. It resonated through the fabric of space, carrying the vibrations of creation. The harmonic core was the pulse of existence, the rhythm that gave motion to the stillness of space. From the deep thrumming of black holes to the gentle hum of stardust drifting through the cosmos, it was the unseen force that gave meaning to the void. It sculpted the universe's voice, ensuring that all things carried a note in the grand symphony of existence. Together, the luminal eye and harmonic core formed the first duality, light and sound. They were two sides of the same coin, one illuminating the cosmos, the other shaping its tone. And through their combined efforts, the universe began to take shape, stars spinning into life, and worlds beginning their slow dances through space. Beyond light and sound, there existed another crucial duality, the interplay between motion and rest, between kinetic force and stillness. Here, the kinetic nexus and etherium reigned supreme. The kinetic nexus was the eternal mover, the unseen hand that guided the paths of planets, the orbits of moons, and the rotations of galaxies. Every motion, from the subtlest vibration to the greatest explosion, was touched by its influence. But the kinetic nexus did not operate in isolation. It was balanced by the presence of the etherium, a distant, ethereal force that whispered the secrets of inertia and stillness. This duality was essential to the cosmic order. For where there was movement, there needed to be rest, and where there was action, there had to be a moment of pause. The kinetic nexus ensured that the galaxies spun in their courses, while the etherium guaranteed that the stars would one day dim, rest, and be reborn anew. Together, they oversaw the great dance of the universe, a ceaseless interplay of motion and stillness that kept the very fabric of reality intact. On the grand scale, their influence was seen in the spirals of galaxies and the tides of solar winds. But they also had dominion over the smallest moments, over the heartbeat of a newborn creature, the flutter of a bird's wings, the rise and fall of breath. The kinetic nexus and etherium were present in every pulse, every step, every gesture made by the sentient beings scattered across the cosmos. Yet, their work was far from mechanical. There was a deep wisdom in their movements, a kind of cosmic intuition that guided every action with purpose. For every motion was not just an isolated event, it was a part of a greater whole, a reflection of the interconnected nature of the universe itself. Nothing moved without reason, and no stillness was ever permanent. At the heart of the convergence, where all things merged and split, stood the sentient gate. It was an enigmatic entity, neither fully part of the light nor entirely of the shadow, but something in between. The sentient gate was the guardian of consciousness, the arbiter of perception. It controlled the threshold between awareness and oblivion, deciding what would be seen, felt, and known by the beings of the cosmos. The gate's task was not an easy one. For in a universe as vast and intricate as this, there was far too much for any single being to perceive. The sheer weight of information, the infinite sensations of light, sound, and motion, would be too much to bear. And so, the sentient gate filtered these sensations, allowing only what was necessary for survival, growth, and understanding. It was a protector, ensuring that beings did not drown in the overwhelming sea of cosmic data. But the gate also held the key to deeper knowledge. For those who sought it, for those who dared to venture beyond the surface of reality, the sentient gate could be opened, revealing the hidden truths of the universe. In rare moments, it allowed glimpses of the greater cosmic order, the intricate patterns that underlay all things. These moments of enlightenment were fleeting but powerful, capable of reshaping entire civilizations, altering the course of history in ways both subtle and profound. Time did not move in a straight line within the convergence. It flowed in cycles, like the turning of a great wheel, with periods of activity followed by moments of rest. The eclipse veil, another nucleus within the etheric nexus, was the guardian of this cycle. It oversaw the rhythms of time and sleep, ensuring that all things, from stars to sentient beings, adhered to the natural flow of existence. The eclipse veil was a being of mystery and shadows, its presence felt most strongly in the moments between wakefulness and slumber. It guided the sleep of planets, the dormancy of stars, and the dreams of living creatures. In its domain, time itself seemed to slow, stretch, and bend, allowing for moments of reflection, renewal, and transformation. It was through the eclipse veil that the universe found its balance between action and contemplation, between creation and rest. For even the stars needed to rest, and even the greatest forces in the universe had to pause in their work. Without this balance, the universe would fall into chaos, a ceaseless storm of activity with no time for reflection or growth. In the dreams it wove, the eclipse veil allowed beings to touch the edges of eternity, to see the patterns of creation, though only for brief moments. These dream visions were often forgotten upon waking, but their influence lingered, guiding the course of destiny in ways both large and small. Among the many forces that operated under the guidance of the nuclei, there were the mossy fibers, agile beings that carried the specific information of the physical world. These fibers acted as messengers, delivering the whispers of the earth to the deep chambers of the nexus. They represented the link between the physical and the metaphysical, bridging the gap between the tangible and the ethereal. The mossy fibers moved with purpose, their steps precise and calculated, mirroring the ordered nature of the universe itself. Their task was to gather the signals from the world's physical structures, the vibration of stone, the flow of rivers, the pulse of the land, and carry this information to the heart of the nexus. Once there, it would be processed, integrated, and sent out into the cosmic fabric, ensuring that the movements of the Earth were in harmony with the greater universe. These fibers were not beings of chaos. They were creatures of order and structure, their movements sharp and deliberate, a reflection of the universe's need for balance. The moss that clung to them was symbolic of growth, rootedness, and the passage of time. Like moss, they held the memory of the Earth, carrying it with them as they wove their way through the celestial realms. Their role was critical in maintaining the cosmic equilibrium, for without the mossy fibers, the universe would lose touch with the physical reality it governed. They ensured that the nuclei were constantly informed, their movements in sync with the land's rhythms. Though the nuclei maintained their eternal vigil over the cosmos, they knew that all things were impermanent. Even stars would eventually burn out, galaxies would fade into the void, and civilizations would crumble to dust. But this was not a cause for sorrow or despair, for the nuclei understood that in destruction, there was always the potential for renewal. Every ending was merely a prelude to a new beginning. When a star collapsed, or a world fell into shadow, its essence was drawn back into the nexus, where it would be absorbed, repurposed, and transformed. This process was overseen by the eclipse veil, which ensured that no energy was ever truly lost. Instead, it was woven back into the cosmic tapestry, re-emerging in a new form, a new cycle of life and death. This endless cycle of creation, destruction, and rebirth was the very essence of duality. It was the understanding that for every force, there was an opposing force, for every act of creation, there was a moment of destruction. But in the end, these opposites were not in conflict. They were part of the same whole, two sides of the same coin, each necessary for the continued existence of the universe. The nuclei understood this deeply. They did not mourn the loss of stars or worlds, for they knew that from the ashes of the old, new life would always rise. The cycle was eternal, a constant dance between light and shadow, motion and stillness, creation and destruction. And so, as the nuclei continued their work, guiding the cosmos through its endless cycles, they remained ever watchful, ever vigilant, ensuring that the balance between dualities was maintained. They were the keepers of the cosmic dance, the guardians of the great rhythms of existence, and through their efforts, the universe would continue to thrive, endlessly renewed by the interplay of opposing forces.